Hello students, I am Nalge ma'am from Shri Shivaji Vidya Mandir, Aund. Today we are going to start new chapter, Cell Structure and Organization. Chapter number 5. I have already told that in animal tissue lecture that small tissue get connected and at that time cell created. So there are lots of cells which are present in our body, and every cell has their appropriate structure, particular structure, and every cell has their own function. So that's why this cell is called as a functional and structural unit. So basic thing is that the cell is the structural and functional unit of the life or our body. This cell will be a unicellular or a multicellular. Unicellular means only one cell can be present, and multicellular means more than two cells are present. It is called as a multicellular. And you can see in this lecture we will see the every cell. So you will observe that every cell has their own structure and own function. This structure will never repeat, and this structure will never have a same function. Every structure and function will be different. So there are two types of cells: prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. So prokaryotic cell are the cells which is also called as a prokaryotic organism or a prokaryotes. But this prokaryotic cell don't have a well developed parts, and in eukaryotic cell have a well developed parts. So in this prokaryotic cell, it will not well define nucleus or another membrane or another cell organelles. But for prokaryotic cell, there is one method called as a Gram staining, and on the basis of that Gram staining, these prokaryotic cells can be identified or observed. So in the Gram staining, there will be a positive Gram staining and negative Gram staining, and on the basis that staining process, on the basis of the structure and color of this cell, it will identify the which prokaryotes are they and their positive negative type. So examples of prokaryotes will be bacteria, blue-green algae or E. coli. You can see this is the structure of the prokaryotic cell. You can see it will have a cell wall, plasma membrane, cytoplasm, ribosomes, plasmid, pili, bacterial flagellum, nucleotide, etc. So all these organelles are present in prokaryotic cell, but these all are not well defined structures or cell organelles. This prokaryotic is the unicellular. It will have a spherical, rod or a flat shape, and it has a very small size, that is a 1 or 10 microns. But some prokaryotic cells also vary in their size. Some prokaryotic cells also big in size and some are small in size, and they reproduce by the binary fission or a conjugation. in previous lecture we have seen, or in a 10th you have already seen, that binary fission and what is a conjugation. This is the mode of a reproduction. And these prokaryotic cells are a photosynthetic. Photosynthetic means we already know that it will perform food by own with the help of the sunlight. Now we will see the eukaryotic cell. First I will tell you, prokaryotic cell we have seen, and in prokaryotic cell there is a cell organelles are present but they are not well developed. But in eukaryotic cell all the cell organelles get very specific structure, specific cell organelles and specific functions. So in this eukaryotic cell you will see the various structures and various functions. So it is called as a eukaryotic organisms or a eukaryotes, and examples will be animal, plants and other organisms also. So first thing is, in eukaryotic cell nucleus will be present and it is a well defined. So it is called as a true nucleus. When any cell structure or a cell organelle have a very appropriate structure, so it will called as a true. So this nucleus is called as a true nucleus. You can see this is the structure of a eukaryotic cell, and you will see the various structures: mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, nucleolus, nucleus, cytoplasm, ribosome, cell membrane, rough endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, lysosomes, pinocytic vesicle. So all these are various organs or various cell organelles which are present in the eukaryotic cell. So first we will see the cell wall. So now we will start the components of the eukaryotic cell. Components means the parts of the eukaryotic cell. So first is the cell wall. So first is the cell wall. Cell wall is present in only plant cell, but in animal cell wall will be absent. Okay, so you can see at the right side there is a one diagram, and it will have a first number, it is the cell wall. So this cell wall is only present in the plant cell. So it is a very tough and rigid structure. Why it is a tough and rigid? Because this cell wall protects all the internal organs of the cell. That's why it has a tough and rigid structure. And main function of this cell wall is it gives the shape to the cell and also protects the infections or any injuries. And this plant cell will show the three types: middle lamella, primary wall and secondary wall. So what is this middle lamella, primary wall and secondary wall? You can see there is a title of a cell wall. Just a second. So this is the cell wall, and in between the cell wall there is a three layers: middle lamella, primary wall and secondary wall. So this middle lamella is a thin and lies between two adjacent cells. That means in two layer there will be a middle lamella present. So it is called as a middle lamella because it is present in the center, and it is very thin, and it is made up of pectin, calcium and magnesium pectate. Primary wall is the outer wall and function is it is a capable of the growth. Next is the secondary wall. Secondary wall will be the wall which is present at the inner side to the primary wall. That means there is a outer covering. In the outer covering there will be a secondary wall, and in that middle lamella will be present. Next is the cell membrane. So we have already seen the cell wall. Cell wall is only present in the plants and absent in the animal. Okay. So this cell membrane is present in plant cell also and animal cell also. It is also very thin in structure and quasified in a structure. What is a quasified? That is, it is a rigid and a flexible structure, and it is present externally and internally. Why it is present externally, internally? Reason behind this, it give the permit to enter or exit the materials which is came from outer side. And it is a permeable membrane. Why it is a permeable membrane? Because it has a capacity to exchange the material inner and outer side. So that's why it secretes all protein and waste product also. It secretes proteins and other minerals, and it eliminates the waste product. That means it allow exist for the waste product. That's why this cell membrane is also called as a plasma membrane. So this cell membrane will have a 3 layers. First layer will be a phospholipid which is arranged in a bilayer. I will show you a diagram. So there will be a bilayer and another one layer. So this bilayer will be a phospholipid and another layer will be a lipid. So this lipid will have a hydrophilic polar head and two hydrophobic non-polar tail. So what is the tail and head? So head will be only one and tail will be two, and so it is called as a amphipathic. So I will show the what is the hydrophobic tail and hydrophilic polar head. There is one difference between hydrophilic and hydrophobic. Hydro means water, philic and phobic. Phobic means only a phobia, and hydrophilic is not phobia. That means hydrophilic will present in the liquid or water condition, and hydrophobic will not present in the water condition. That's why it is called as a hydrophobic. Here I will show you. I have colored this. Here you can see this is the one circular structure. It will be a head, and there are two thread-like structures called as a tail. So in all over plasma membrane there will be only one head and there will be a two tail. So head will be hydrophilic polar head and two hydrophobic non-polar tail. Why it is called as a polar and non-polar? Polar because it is a hydrophilic, that's why it is called as a polar. And why it is a hydrophobic non-polar? Because it is a hydrophobic, that's why it is called as a non-polar. And why it is called as a bilayer? Because it arranged in a, it means lipid. These lipid molecules get arranged in a two layers, so it is called as a bilayer. And here you can see in this diagram, this tail get connected to the another tail. That means this get created or attached in between two heads. That's why it is called as a, these tails get sandwiches in a between two head. We have already know the sandwich. So what is the structure of this sandwich? Sandwich means two breads, and in there will be a salad or a jam or a whatever it may be, butter. That's like that. There will be a head, two head, and in this two head there will be a tails will get attached. So it is called as a sandwich. So I have already told that hydrophilic and hydrophobic tail, and hydrophilic head, non-polar, polar, that's only. And you can see this is the proper structure of this plasma membrane. So there is a one model called as a fluid mosaic model. First of all, why this model is included in this plasma membrane or a cell membrane? Firstly, this model is the most accepted model. Why it is the most accepted model? Because this model shows the all phospholipid bilayer and head tail, which is included hydrophilic, hydrophobic, all the functions get created properly. Basically, this fluid mosaic model get made up by the phospholipid bilayer and proteins. In this diagram you can see there is a blue colored structure. This is the proteins. This is the protein, this also protein, this. All this blue color get protein, and at the top you can see this is the green color something. So structure will be a glycolipid. That means glucose and lipid will be present. Carbohydrate is nothing but the glucose, and this bothly connected glycolipid, and this will be a glycoprotein, blue one. And glycoprotein means glucose and protein get combined, protein with carbohydrate. I have already told that carbohydrate is the glucose. And you can see right side, this is the phospholipid bilayer. That means phospho means phosphate, lipid means lipid. Phosphate and lipid get combined and it create a layer. So it is called as a bilayer. This is the peripheral membrane protein, and this is the integral membrane protein. Peripheral means outer side and integral means the inner side. And this is the protein channel. Why it is called as a protein channel? Because it stores the protein. That's why it is called as a protein channel. So this peripheral membrane is also called as a extrinsic. Why it is extrinsic? Because it is present in the outer side. And this internal membrane protein will called as a intrinsic. Why it is called as a this? Because it is present in the inner side. So there is a passive transport and there is a active transport. So what is the passive and active? So first we will see the passive. Passive will be the higher concentration to the lower concentration. But what? That means these particular molecules will transport from the higher concentration to lower concentration, and so it is called as a passive transport. And first of all, this passive transport don't need energy. They transport without spending energy. But in active transport, there is a need of a energy, and we already know that energy is the ATP. That means this energy will form in a ATP form and it will get utilized from lower concentration to higher concentration. So this is the basic difference between the passive and active transport. Passive is the nothing but high concentration to lower concentration, and active transport nothing but the lower concentration to higher concentration. Just get the vice versa and you will get the answer. So we have already seen the structure and all these parts and organelles, but main function of the plasma membrane is it transport the molecules across it. That means you can see this is the structure of the eukaryotic cell, and here there will be a cell membrane or a plasma membrane, and from this cell membrane proteins and other minerals get exchanged. So it is called as a transport of molecules across it. Next we will see the cytoplasm. So in previous chapter I have already told that what is the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is the fluid-like structure which is present in the all cell organelles, and every cell structure will have this cytoplasm. It is a jelly-like substance. It is not a liquid or it is not a solid. It is the middle stage. I have already told that we have already seen the Vaseline. Like that this Vaseline or a jelly chocolate, like that this cytoplasm will present, and this cytoplasm is also called as a cytosol, also cytoplasmic matrix. It have a various names, various structure. Okay, and cytoplasm contains water as well as other molecules like sugar, that is a carbohydrates or glucose, amino acid, vitamins, enzymes, nucleotides, minerals, waste products. All these are present in the cytoplasm. And what is the main function of the cytoplasm? Cytoplasm is the liquid or a solid structure, that is a semi-squared or a semi-solid structure or a semi-liquid structure. So it has a capacity to stable the all the positions of the cell organelles, which keeps the cell organelles separate. We have seen that in a previous chapter, that is the all tissues get differentiated from each other. Why it is like that? Or in every cell you can see every cell organelle, every cell structure are differentiated. We will never see that today we will see the mitochondria has a particular structure and tomorrow it will get changed. No, it will never change. Why it is not change? Because of the cytoplasm, or their position never will be changed. Why it is happen? Because of the cytoplasm. The function of the cytoplasm is just the is stable the position of all cell organelles, and it keeps the separate from each other. That's why metabolic activities get created and it performs properly. And this cytoplasm will have a ER. ER means endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, mitochondria, plastids, ribosomes, nucleus, etc. etc. Now we will see the endoplasmic reticulum. From here all cell organelles get started. This cytoplasm and plasma membrane and cell wall is the primary cell organelles. Now we will see the exactly cell organelles. First is the endoplasmic reticulum. It is also called as a ER. Why it is called as ER? It is just a short form, nothing else. Now you can see here is the, now you can see here is the, that is the at the top of the right, we'll see the diagram of a endoplasmic reticulum. There will be a nucleus, nuclear pore, rough endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, and ribosomes. First of all, this endoplasmic reticulum is the tubes and sac. Like, okay, you can see in this diagram there is a tube-like structures also are present and sac-like structure are present. Sac means cavity and tube means columnar structure, and this sac-like structure will called as a cisternae. Okay, so I will tell you first the function of this endoplasmic reticulum. This ER act as a intracellular supporting framework and also help in a maintaining position of the cell organelles. Now, what is the intracellular supporting framework? That is the, this ER supports the all intracellular matrix or cell organelles which are present in the ER, and also helps in maintaining the structure and also maintaining the position of the cell organelles. Now this ER will have two types. First is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum and next is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth means it will have a very smooth structure and rough means it will have a rough structure. This smooth endoplasmic reticulum will don't have a ribosome. That means this ribosome will be absent and it will help in a lipid synthesis. And another is a rough endoplasmic reticulum. Here ribosome will be present and it will help in a protein synthesis. Next we will see the Golgi complex. You can see this is the diagram of a Golgi complex, and also you can see at the top there is a cis phase and at the bottom there is a trans phase. Here is a secretory vesicle and here will be a cisternae and here will be a newly forming vesicle. So what is the exactly cis phase and trans phase, etc., etc. First I will tell you this Golgi complex, also called as a Golgi body or a Golgi apparatus. Don't confuse over here. Golgi complex, Golgi apparatus, Golgi body, these all are the only one cell organ. And main function is the manufacturing, packaging and transport of unit of the cell. Here is the very simple. If you have any business of anything, first what we do? We do the first manufacture. What is the manufacture? We create that particular product and at that time after we will package it and after that we will need a transport to the another area or another shop or a customer. Like that this Golgi complex also has function that it manufactures and package and transport unit of a cell. That means in this Golgi apparatus these all functions are performed. So you can see there is a cisternae present, that is it is a sacs. In a previous slide we have already told that cisternae. So cisternae is the sac like structure, that is a membranous sac. So here will be a cis phase and the trans phase. Presentation of the Golgi apparatus, cis will be a top side and trans will be a bottom side, that is the opposite of the cis phase. So this Golgi complex is always present near the endoplasmic reticulum. Why it is like that? Reason behind this: vesicles get transport from the endoplasmic reticulum from the cis phase and it will enter into the Golgi apparatus and cisternae. That's why it is present near the endoplasmic reticulum. So next is the lysosomes. First of all I will tell you the lysosomes is also called as a suicidal bags. Why it is called as a suicidal bags? Because this lysosome stores the waste product and also it eats the it means EATS, it means khane. It's and another name for it is the engulf. This is the scientific name or appropriate name for this that is a engulf. That is a lysosome engulfs the waste product or it create or regenerates the new one. So it is called as a suicidal bag. And also main function is that lysosome destroys the foreign particles which is enter into the cell. Basically this lysosomes has a membrane bound organelles which contains the digestive enzymes to break down macromolecules. There is a simple basic thing, that is a lysosome. What is the function of the lysosome? It destroys the foreign bodies or foreign materials and also it engulfs the all waste material and it create a new. So these all activities will have a enzymes and these enzymes will be the digestive enzymes. So it is called, this enzyme will be the hydrolase enzyme, and it includes the amylases, proteases, lipases,